Morena. Okay, so I'm making this video in response to a few people that have been asking me how we use the cow manure, on our nursery, which I had mentioned that earlier. So we have a little problem in our nursery this year because we put on council ramiel / wood chip, and it wasn't really ramiel, it was mostly wood chip, and so we ended up with a nitrogen deficiency. And we're really committed to using only like making our own fertilizers and things here from this land. We're not buying in fertilizer. So we had the nursery all set up, and we had these overhead sprinklers set up so that that's how we water the nursery. And we had already been putting on fish hydrolysate through our overhead sprinklers using a Venturi system, and that was developed by Sean, who saw when he came here immediately that putting it on with a watering can or with a Venturi on a hose was very time consuming, and he was wanting to make it more efficient. So do you want to just do a quick explanation, Sean, of what a Venturi is? And roughly, they're fairly simple but not easy to explain, so here we go.
Yeah, here we go. So this is the direct line that goes off to the overhead sprinklers, and here we've got a diversion which goes through this bit here, which is called the Venturi. So we started off with quite a small Venturi like that, and I've just upgraded to a bigger one. The small one could only do between 5 and 7 sprinklers, whereas this one does 13 sprinklers, so we can pretty much do the whole nursery with that one. So what's happening here is I would turn that water off, I would divert all the water through, which does reduce the water pressure, but you know, we still get it to come out of 13 sprinklers. And so what's happening is the water's coming through here, and I'm not exactly sure of the numbers here, but something to do with the amount of back pressure creates a suction which sucks through this, so we take whatever we want, which is either the fish hydrolysate or the cow manure that you'll see how we process soon, into this, and it sucks out of here into this and sucks it up here and goes out through the overhead sprinklers.
Yeah, so it's very simple, relatively cheap to set these up, although I have to say it's quite tricky. You've got to be quite good at knowing what size to get and things about water pressure and flow and stuff, which I'm not very good at, but Sean's worked it out. So basically we've got an overhead sprinkler system for watering the nursery, which we're now using a Venturi system on to put a liquid nutrient onto the nursery. And the fish hydrolysate's largely putting on phosphate and calcium, which is great for growth, but if you've got a nitrogen deficiency, it's not enough. It's not a lot of nitrogen in fish hydrolysate. So we decided to try and use cow manure because we've got an organic small dairy herd here, and cow manure is really good for nitrate nitrogen, which is the fast release of nitrogen, as well as ammonium nitrogen, which is slow release of nitrogen. It's got loads of great microbes in it, and it's kind of a gentle form of nitrogen, which is nice to work with. So that's about this first part, isn't it? Yeah, it's enough, I think. Yep, cool. Okay. So we're over here where Sean makes the cow manure slurry now. So he brings the cow manure back from the paddock in a 20-litre bucket, relatively full. And then he divides it in half, puts it into 2 20-litre buckets, and probably half fills them up with water. And then he's got a drill with a auger on the end of it. You could use a paint stirrer on the end of the drill as well, anything sort of like that. And then he just, he mixes it up. In a home garden, even if that's all you did, it makes it a lot easier to put through a watering can. But we're taking it we're making it even finer. So the next step is to put it into oh, he's got a tripod here with a wheelbarrow underneath it. And he's poured the liquid, which is fairly thick, into an old onion bag. Why do you put it in an onion bag, Sean?
That will keep most of the grass materials, the
fibre, all the fibre.
fibres exactly inside the bag. Most of it inside the bag. And yeah, then I just...
See, our aim is to get this fine enough to go through a venturi, so the slurry that you put in here wouldn't be fine enough. And we've been working on developing this system to make it as time efficient as possible, and we're keen to hear from any of you if you've got other ideas about how we could do something similar.
Here's the fun part.
Huh. Yeah, it might sound ridiculous, but I like putting my hands in clean manure. That's what I was doing this morning too. So there we go. Now I imagine he's going to pull the rope, is he? I haven't actually watched this bit before. Yes, got a rope on a... tie it off. So then it just drains. And do you just leave it to drain without, do you squeeze it, or?
To be honest, at this point I'm not really bothered. It drains very little. Mostly what I'm doing is I'm clearing it out of there, so I've got easy access to this. I'll probably repeat this process 3 or 4 times.
Oh, with that same manure.
With that same manure,
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
You can literally see it, like, you know, you can see the color of it, and eventually you'll see it starts to get a little bit lighter. Then I'm like, okay, I'm done with it now. You know,
Okay.
So, but I'll probably go 3 or 4 times. And now, because we use the venturi, I go through this 70% shade cloth into a bucket.
So it's been stirred by the paint stirrer, all the thing, and now it's been put through a onion sack, and now it's going through the 70% shade cloth, which is the same one we use in our garden beds when we plant seeds. And then you've got a liquid that is clean enough that you can put it through a venturi system.
So here I just give it a bit of a squeeze through this. And generally I have to change this just a few times, but you'll see what comes out of that. So that's sort of the stuff that you don't want going through the venturi.
Yeah, there is still, you definitely don't want that in the venturi.
So this now will go through the venturi. So I'll probably put 4 buckets, a full 4 buckets like this through the venturi today.
So, and how the area is about 500 square meters, isn't it?
Just under that.
Yeah, just under 500. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely more time consuming than buying a bag of something from the shop, but there's no bags of nitrogen in the shop that we're willing to buy. And if you're committed to doing things locally, then this is one option, and we're really keen to hear from you if you can think of other ways using local resources. Kia ora.